This fool is gonna mess up big time. After we seal this deal, I'm cutting her loose. I stared at those mean words on Jack's tablet, my coffee getting all cold in my cup. Those words hit me like a splash of freezing water. 6 whole months. 6 months I'd given everything. My heart, my energy, every single day, to get ready for tomorrow's big talk with TechCorp. This deal could make our advice company, Smith Consulting, super successful or totally flop. My name's Anna Smith, and for 8 years, I've been growing what I thought was our shared dream. Jack and I kicked off this business together in our little city apartment, pulling super long days, eating cheap ramen, and pushing through with pure grit. I was the planner, the one who made our ideas and shows. He was the smooth talker, the guy clients really liked. At least, that's what I figured. The tablet was just sitting on our kitchen counter, left behind after Jack ran upstairs for what he said was a super important client chat. The screen popped on when I bumped it by mistake while cleaning up plates. What popped up made my tummy flip. The message went to someone called E with a little heart, next to the name Emily, his helper, the lady who'd been staying late with him way too much these last few months. I scrolled up their chat, my hands shaking. Months of texts, flirty laughs, plans for after splitting up, deep talks about shoving me out of the company once this TechCorp deal locked in. How he'd been telling possible money backers that I was just the helper in the back, while he was the smart one running things, the meanest bit. They'd been giggling about how hard I worked, how I'd stayed up till 3 a.m. fixing every picture, practicing every word, about how I had zero clue what was heading my way. Babe, you gotta see her rushing around thinking this is her huge win. One text said, she doesn't know tomorrow's the day I dump the extra baggage. Emily shot back with laugh faces and a note that got me super mad. Can't wait to party after. Just us in charge. I heard Jack's steps coming down. Fast. I put the tablet right where it was and acted like I was filling the dishwasher. My brain was spinning, but my face stayed chill. 8 years married to a trickster taught me to hide my feelings when needed. Everything good down here? Jack asked, hugging me from behind. His hug, which used to feel nice, now seemed like a sneaky snake wrapping around. Totally, I said, leaning back with a grin that deserved a prize. Just dreaming about tomorrow. I'm pumped for our big show, he hugged tighter. Our show? Yep, sweetie. We're gonna rock it as a team. As a team, what a pretty fib. The next day started like any other, all normal and tricky. I got up at 6 a.m. like always, did my yoga and quiet thinking, then went to our homework room for last checks. Jack was there already, looking sharp and sure in his blue suit, the one I got him for our special day last year. Big day, he said, eyes on his computer. You feeling set? More than set, I answered, sitting at my spot. The show was ready on both our machines, extra copies safe online. Every picture was spot on, every number checked, every point super strong. I'd spent 6 months digging into TechCorp's problems, their rivals, their growth plans. This wasn't just a talk. It was a smart plan to fix every worry they might have. What Jack didn't know was I'd done some extra secret prep that morning. A quick chat with my split-up lawyer, Sarah Jones, who I'd teamed with on client stuff before. A quiet email to our money tracker asking for all company money papers. And key, turning on a recording thing on my phone. I'll whip up some coffee. Jack said around 9 a.m. The meeting was set for 10:30 a.m. by video. TechCorp's bosses would join from their main spot in the big city, with their law folks, and 3 possible money givers. I watched him buzz around the kitchen with his usual easy vibe. He was good-looking, I'll say that. Dark hair with a bit of gray that made him look fancy. Green eyes that could win anyone over. A smile that made me trust him with my heart and dreams. But today I saw him different. The way he sang softly while working. Was he really happy about his mean plan against me? He came back with 2 matching black cups, the his and hers we grabbed on our fun trip to that far place. The funny part hit me. Here you go, hun, he said, putting my cup down extra gentle. Drink it. You'll need the boost. The coffee seemed and smelled regular. Dark kind. Just my fave. But his grin was too nice. Too on purpose. I took a tiny sip and watched his face. Was that a quick, happy look? Thanks, I said nice. You always look out for me so well. His phone buzzed. Emily, for sure. Gotta hit the bathroom quick before we kick off, he said, heading out. Can you get the show ready? I want it all set. The second he was gone, I jumped up. I swapped our cups super smooth, putting his by my machine and mine by his. Then I sat back, pulled up the show and waited. When he came back, he sat without checking the cup, took a big sip of what he thought was his safe one, and grinned at me all clueless and happy. The meeting was starting, and so was his big fall. Right at 10:30 a.m., our screen filled with faces. Mr. Johnson, TechCorp's top boss, showed in the main spot. A fancy guy in his 60s with eyes that caught everything. Next to him was Ms. Baker, their main ops person, and Mr. Lopez, their growth head. 3 more spots showed the money folks Jack had been chasing for months. Morning. All, Mr. Johnson said, voice clear. We're pumped to hear what Smith Consulting has for us today. Jack sat up straight. His sure grin locked on. Thanks for the chance. Mr. Johnson, Anna and I have worked super hard to make something we think will boost your workflow big. I saw he stressed, Anna and I making sure he looked like the boss. But as he grabbed his coffee for another sip, I spotted something, a little shake in his hand. Weird. Before we start, I jumped in easy. I want to say what a big deal this is. TechCorp's name for new ideas is awesome, and we're thrilled to maybe team up with a group that loves top work like we do. The money folks nodded, liking it. This was the respect and pro vibe they wanted. Jack glanced at me quick. Was that mad? Or was the stuff he meant for me already hitting him? Let's jump in? Jack asked, clicking to the first picture. Our checks show. He stopped, blinking hard. Our checks show TechCorp has 3 main tough spots in today's market. His voice was still okay, but he talked slower than normal. Mr. Johnson leaned in a bit, paying full attention. These were smart business types. They'd spot any weak or sloppy signs. The first tough spot, Jack went on, is extra repeat work in your area spots. Our dig show, another stop. He rubbed his head with one hand while grabbing coffee with the other. Shows you could get 18%. Better flow with simpler steps. I watched the money. Folks' faces. They listened close. But I saw tiny worry signs starting. Jack was tripping a bit on words he knew super well. The second tough spot is linking data, I said. Sliding in smooth. Your setups work alone, which slows choices and hurts your edge over others. As I talked, Jack took another big drink from his cup. The funny twist was perfect. He was basically messing himself up with his own bad plan. But I kept my face straight. Pro. Jack, want to add on the tech parts? I asked sweet. He blinked a bunch, trying to focus. Yeah, sure. The tech parts are pretty tricky, but basically... His words started to mush a tiny bit. Mr. Johnson's brows went up a little. In business, acting sloppy in a key show like this was like ending your job, and Jack was about to make it way worse. Jack? Ms. Baker's voice broke the quiet as my hubby stared blank at the screen. Mouth a bit open. 20 minutes since we started, and what began as small mix-ups was now super obvious. Sorry, Jack said, shaking his head hard. There's something. He grabbed his coffee again, gulping like it might fix him. The stuff, whatever it was doing just what he'd wanted it to do to me. The data linking tough spots are big. That's when Mr. Johnson's face went from nice listening to real worry. Mr. Smith, you okay? Maybe we pause if you're sick. I saw my chance. Mr. Johnson, if it's cool, I said calm and pro. Jack's been going all out for this show. He was up till 4 a.m. tweaking last bits. Maybe I take over while he pulls together. It was a smart play. I looked caring and pro, while hinting his act was from being tired, not dumb, but key. I was setting up to save what he was wrecking. That'd be great, Mr. Lopez said from his spot. We're super into hearing the whole plan. Jack tried to say no. Nah, I'm good. I can... But as he tried to get up, he wobbled and grabbed the desk edge. The money folks swapped looks that said a lot. "Please, dear," I said, standing and softly touching his shoulder. "Let me do this. You've worked so much already." To the camera, I added, "I know every bit of this plan as well as Jack. We've been real teammates making this." What I skipped was I'd made 90% myself. Jack was the show guy. But I'd been the thinker for every check, every tip, every smart fix we offered. I slid to the next picture easy. Like I said, your data linking issues mess up your whole setup. Our check of your last quarter papers shows info slows cost you about 2 to 3 million in lost chances. Now I was in my zone. This was what I loved. Fixing tricky business puzzles into cool, money-making answers. As I talked, I saw the money folks go from worried to curious to really pumped. Plus, I went on, clicking to a fancy chart I'd worked weeks on. Our plan timeline would get you real wins in 90 days. Full best in 6 months. Mr. Johnson leaned back, clearly wowed. "These goals are bold, Mrs. Smith. How sure are you?" "Totally sure," I said quick. "We tested these with info from 3 like companies, and each time our ways beat what we guessed." Behind me, Jack was fighting to get steady. He'd sat back, but his face was white, and he blinked lots, like clearing his eyes. The stuff he'd meant to embarrass me with was wrecking his trust bit by bit. "This is great stuff," Ms. Baker said. "The deep checks are just what we wanted." "Thanks," I said. Really happy. This work is months of digging and smart planning. We know you have other advice groups fighting for this job, so we went way deep with our tips. As I talked, I saw one money lady, Ms. Garcia from Invest Partners, writing notes fast. That's always good. Out the corner of my eye, I saw Jack messing with his cup again, confused why he felt worse. The sweet, funny part hit me. He'd planned to see me flop, to use my mess up as reason to boot me from our company. Instead, he was watching my best work moment while living the bad end he'd set for me, but this was just the start. The fun part was coming. "If we can go to the rollout timeline," I said, moving to picture 12. "You'll see we split the job into 3 clear parts, each with goals you can check and win marks." Mr. Johnson nodded, liking it, but his eyes kept going to Jack, who now held his chair arms like the room spun. "Mr. Smith? Sure you don't need a doctor?" This was my big moment. "You know," I said, like it just popped in my head. "Jack, why not step out a bit, get fresh air, maybe wash your face? I can do the rest." Jack looked at me all mixed up. And was that scared? He was starting to get something was wrong bad, but couldn't puzzle it. Yeah, maybe good," he muttered, struggling up. As he left, wobbling, I turned to the camera with a worried but pro look. "Sorry for the break. My hubby's been under huge stress lately. He's so into this job." "Of course," Ms. Baker said nice. "Keep going. This show's awesome." And I did. Without Jack there, I felt free like not in years. This was my stuff, my skills, my time to glow. I went through the left pictures with sharp aim and fire, answering every ask with deep know-how that wowed them. "Your rival checks are super full," Mr. Lopez said. "How'd you get such close looks at TechCorp's spot?" 3 months of heavy digging, I said true. I talked to 15 expert folks myself, checked 5 years of market info, and did group chats with your main buyers. This ain't just ideas. It's from real-life smarts. I saw the buzz growing on their faces. These business types loved full work, and I'd given just that. My phone, set to record from the start, caught it all. Not just the show, but Jack's slow mess-up and my smooth takeover. Proof that'd be key for next steps. "Mrs. Smith," Mr. Johnson said as I got to last pictures. "This prep level is top-notch. How long you been building these plans?" "I've worked on versions for over 2 years," I said. "When we heard about teaming with TechCorp, I tweaked them just for you." What I skipped was, Jack added almost zip to the smart parts. He'd been busy charming clients at fancy meals while I built the real company. "The money guesses are strong." Ms. Garcia jumped in. "But doing it is where most jobs flop." "How you make sure it works?" I grinned. This was my shine spot. Check-ins are in every part. Weekly updates, monthly goal looks, quarterly big checks. Plus, I watch every main step myself. You? Mr. Johnson asked. Yep. This ain't something we pass to newbies. When you pick Smith Consulting, you get our top skills all through. I picked words careful, softly showing me as the main one. Not Jack, but pro, focusing on what we can do, not bad-mouthing my hubby. As we hit the last part, I felt a big wave of sure feeling I hadn't in months. This was going way better than dreamed. And best, Jack was missing his own work wreck. The show ended with happy cheers from everyone. Mr. Johnson looked really pumped. Ms. Baker asked deep follow-asks. And money folks were clearly wowed. Mrs. Smith, this was amazing, Mr. Johnson said. Gotta ask, is this smart thinking your usual? It is, I said sure. I believe in digging deep to find real growth chances and better ways. How quick could you start if we go ahead? Mr. Lopez asked. Right away, I said. I've cleared my days expecting this. My full focus would be on TechCorp winning. Again, I used I, not we, not wrong. I really was the worker. But it set me as the key one. That's when Jack wobbled back in, looking worse. His face pale, moving shaky. Real mix-up in his eyes. How's it going? He asked. Words mushy now. The difference was huge. Here I was, giving a perfect show with sure skills, while he could hardly talk straight. It looked bad for him. We were chatting rollout times, I said soft. Like to someone sick, why not sit, hun? Mr. Johnson's face was worry plus business judging. In this world, being steady and pro is all. What he saw would question Jack's fit for a huge money job. Mr. Smith, Mr. Johnson said careful. Maybe we keep talking when you're better. No, Jack pushed, trying to sound lively. I'm okay, just worn out. Let me show the last tips. But when he tried to click next, he hit wrong and shut the whole show. The messing around after, his wild tries to open it while fighting simple clicks, was hard to see. It's fine, I said smooth, opening it on my machine and sharing my screen. Tech glitches happen. Here. I led the talk through last bits with nice grace, making Jack's mess look like small bumps, not big warnings. But the harm was there. These leaders saw what they needed. As it wrapped, Mr. Johnson said something that gave me chills. Mrs. Smith, your skills are just what we want. We'll chat soon on our choice. Not your company's skills, not Smith Consulting's my skills. After the call ended, Jack dropped in his chair, looking lost and beat. What went down? He asked. I was fine this morning then. You've pushed too hard, I said with fake care. Maybe rest. I'll do any client follow. As he fought to stand and head to bed, I sat alone in the workroom, thinking over what happened. The meeting rocked better than hoped. I'd not just saved what Jack tried to break. I'd maybe grabbed our biggest job ever, but more. I had it all recorded. The phone catch showed not just Jack's slow fall, but his words he felt fine before the coffee he made. The trap for me snagged him. Now time for my own traps. In an hour after it ended, I was on my next planned steps. Jack was upstairs napping off whatever he meant for me, while I worked steady to lock my future and show his bad moves. First, I called Sarah Jones, my lawyer. Sarah, it's Anna Smith. We gotta meet today. I have proof my hubby tried to slip me something, plus papers on his plan to take our company. Anna, that's heavy. What proof? Sound catches, text pics, and meeting folks who saw him dose himself by mistake with what he put in my coffee. 4 p.m. work? Next, I sent pics I'd snapped of Jack's text with Emily to my safe email. Then, a smart email to Mr. Johnson. Dear Mr. Johnson, thanks for today. Wanted to follow on some show bits myself. As you saw, my hubby seemed off in the meeting. This morning made me see I need to fix some home stuff that might touch our work tie. I promise my drive for this job is full, and my skill to deliver is not hurt by these home things. Hit me up by email or phone for asks. It was pro, but hinted at hidden problems without saying straight. Mr. Johnson was smart to get the hint. Last, I called our company money person for a fast check of all funds. I need papers on who added what to the company, like smart ideas, client links, and money puts. By 3 p.m., I'd gone to the bank and opened a new company account just in my name. Moving funds I could show were mine. The smart rights were harder, but Sarah would help. Jack was still out when I left for the lawyer meet. I left a note. Out for errands. Back by dinner. Let him think all normal a bit more. The funny taste was yummy. He'd spent months plotting to shove me out, thinking I was too trusting to spot it, but his big head blinded him to the key fact. I'd built this company. I was the planner, the digger, the one making fixes clients paid for. He'd just been the nice face sharing my work. Now he'd learn what happens when you think low of the lady who made your wins happen. At 6 p.m., I got home to Jack awake but foggy, at the kitchen table with tea. The funny of him drinking what I made hit me, though this was just safe flower tea. Better? I asked, putting down my bag with a caring voice. I don't get what hit me, he said, rubbing his head. Felt great this morning, then bam, couldn't think straight in the meeting. Probably wrecked it all. No worries, I said, calming. I fixed the show. Actually, Mr. Johnson seemed really into our stuff. Jack looked up fast. Our stuff? Well, the smart checks we made together, I said, careful. Though I did most talking after you got off. I watched his face as it sank in. If I'd nailed the show, his plan to see me flop had bombed, but he couldn't sort how he ended up the mess. Did they say on going ahead? He asked. Mr. Johnson said they'd reach out soon. I think we're in the running. What I skipped was the email from Mr. Johnson an hour back. Anna, after today's show, I'm sure you're what TechCorp needs. Let's chat tomorrow on details. I was wowed by your smart thinking and pro way in tough spots. The job was mine. The company was mine. And tomorrow, Jack would see how much his world would flip. As we ate dinner, him still puzzled on his weird sick, me quietly plotting his end, I thought how fair payback can be. He'd tried to slip me stuff for work shame. Instead, he slipped himself into being useless. The get back was just starting, but already super good. 6 months on, I sat in my fresh work spot looking over the city, checking newest reports from the TechCorp job. The wins beat even my high hopes. We hit 22% better flow and saved them $3.8 million in the first part alone. The split was quick and strong. Sarah Jones showed such strong proof of Jack's try to mess me up and steal plan that his lawyer said settle fast. I'd kept all of Smith Consulting, client names, and smart stuff I could show was mine. Jack tried to fight it, saying he'd been slipped stuff without knowing. But when the body check showed bits of a light calmer, something easy to get but needs planning, plus his texts plotting to boot me, his trust went poof. Emily got fired that week, after I sent her bad chats with my hubby to her work rule group. The advice world in our city is smaller than folks think. Her good name was done. I'd grown the company by 40%, hired 3 smart checkers, and grabbed 2 more big jobs just from TechCorp wins. The company Jack planned to snag from me was now booming past our old dreams. And it was all mine. Sometimes late, reviewing work, I thought of that morning 6 months back. How he'd given me that coffee with such smug grin. So sure he'd see me wreck myself. How he never guessed his big head would end him. The cool of perfect get-back. I learned ain't in wild plans or big fights. It's in letting someone's own mean. Eat them while you step away and take the life they tried to grab. Jack taught me one last good lesson. Never trust who'd mess your coffee. But more, always know which cup is which. In the end, fair play came in the best way. He'd gulped from his own bad cup, and I'd got all he thought was his. Looking ahead, I couldn't help grin at how the tables flipped perfect my way.